The Greg Kelly Show.
Well, happy 4th of July. It is, how the hell old is our country? 248 years old. It'll be 250 years in 2026. What kind of country? Will we have a country? Will we even have a country to celebrate? There's a real chance we won't. There is a real chance. However, I think there will be. I think we're coming around, and it's spectacular. All that's been kept secret is coming to light. Now, look, I'm still kind of giddy over the Joe Biden implosion. At the same time, I'm kind of worried, too. I mean, everybody has seen it. Yeah, the American people, the voters, right? And they've had it with being lied to. But what about our enemies all over the world? This is also not a surprise to them. This is not a surprise to them, but it does change everything. And you can see them trying to exploit this moment, right? It's going to be a very touch and go. I'm seeing right now that he's on the verge. Sometimes he thinks he should quit. Sometimes he thinks he should stay. He probably, I still say he'll get out of the race, but he'll probably cling to office. Then again, my good friend Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, and he says he's got great information on this stuff, that Joe Biden, will resign on Monday. How about that? I was the one who called it a year and a half ago. I said out loud that he would not be the nominee. Actually, do me a favor, if you can, from the other day. Remember that, Diego, when I said he will not be the nominee? I had a little clip from, we'll find it. I'll give it to you. I played it a bunch the other day, and it's just, I knew it was in the aftermath of the documents in his house. And I'm like, this guy, it ain't happening. It can't happen. And I just used my brains and I used my eyeballs. And it was incredibly obvious. All right. So I want to go back to what I was doing a little bit earlier, which is spreading the good news about Trump. You've got those people in your life who hate the guy, and they can't stand the tweets. They can't stand his haircut. They can't stand him. Well, I happen to like all that stuff. I really do. I think he's cool. I felt that way since I first learned about him when I was in 4th grade, watching him on 60 Minutes. But he's not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. But forget all the style and all that stuff. If you run into a pal, or maybe not a pal, just somebody you're debating with, please tell them to go to this speech from 2020, July 4th, 2020. The famous one at it's not that famous, but it should be, Mount Rushmore. And he lays out a beautiful American agenda that I believe everybody, every man, woman, and child could say, you know what? I'm proud to be an American, and this is what we stand for. It's not a partisan speech. Not at all. Not a shred of it is partisan. It's not Democrat, not Republican. It's American. And that's what makes it great. Are you ready for this? We're going to pick it up. It's got 2/3 of the way through. July 4th, 2020, right in front of Mount Rushmore. Go ahead.
Inclusive society into a place of repression, domination, and exclusion. They want to silence us, but we will not be silenced. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will state the truth in full without apology. We declare that the United States of America is the most just and exceptional nation ever to exist on earth. We are proud of the fact that our country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and we understand that these values have dramatically advanced the cause of peace and justice throughout the world. We know that the American family is the bedrock of American life. We recognize the solemn right and moral duty of every nation to secure its borders. and we are building the wall. We remember that governments exist to protect the safety and happiness of their own people. A nation must care for its own citizens first. We must take care of America first. It's time. We believe in equal opportunity, equal justice, and equal treatment for citizens of every race, background, religion, and creed. Every child of every color, born and unborn, is made in the holy image of God.
I am.
All right, there's a little commercial break there. You know, none of this stuff would be even remotely controversial in the 1990s. None of it. None of it. Not a word of it. This is a speech that could have been delivered by probably 95 of America's presidents, 95% of America's presidents. But because of the madness of the moment, this is suddenly, it's not. It's not. We can't let the madness of the moment take hold and destroy this country. Keep going, please.
We want free and open debate, not speech codes and cancel culture. We embrace tolerance, not prejudice. We support the courageous men and women of law enforcement. We will never abolish our police or our great Second Amendment, which gives us the right to keep and bear arms. We believe that our children should be taught to love their country, honor their history, and respect our great American flag. We stand tall, we stand proud, and we only kneel to Almighty God. This is who we are. This is what we believe. And these are the values that will guide us as we strive to build an even better and greater future. Those who seek to erase our heritage want Americans to forget our pride and our great dignity so that we can no longer understand ourselves or America's destiny. In toppling the heroes of 1776, they seek to dissolve the bonds of love and loyalty that we feel for our country and that we feel for each other. Their goal is not a better America. Their goal is to end America. In its place, they want power for themselves. But just as patriots did in centuries past, the American people will stand in their way, and we will win, and win quickly and with great dignity. We will never let them rip America's heroes from our monuments or from our hearts. By tearing down Washington and Jefferson, these radicals would tear down the very heritage for which men gave their lives to win the Civil War. They would erase the memory that inspired those soldiers to go to their deaths, singing these words of the battle hymn of the Republic. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on. They would tear down the principles that propelled the abolition of slavery, and ultimately around the world, ending an evil institution that had plagued humanity for thousands and thousands of years. Our opponents would tear apart the very documents that Martin Luther King used to express his dream and the ideas that were the foundation of the righteous movement for civil rights. They would tear down the beliefs, culture, and identity that have made America the most vibrant and tolerant society in the history of the earth. My fellow Americans, it is time to speak up loudly and strongly and powerfully and defend the integrity of our country. It is time for our politicians to summon the bravery and determination of our American ancestors. It is time. It is time to plant our flag and to protect the greatest of this nation for citizens of every race, in every city, and every part of this glorious land. For the sake of our honor, for the sake of our children, for the sake of our union, we must protect and preserve our history, our heritage, and our great heroes. Here tonight, before the eyes of our forefathers, Americans declare again, as we did 244 years ago, that we will not be tyrannized, we will not be demeaned, and we will not be intimidated by bad, evil people. It will not happen.
Is this great or what? Is this fantastic? This is leadership, everybody. This is leadership. Hey, you know what's on the front page right now of Joe Biden's Twitter? Happy Pride Month. The President of the United States on this 4th of July, on his main conduit to get information to the American people, his main, other than giving the occasional speech, which he doesn't do often, it's Happy Pride Month. Not a word about this day. This basically, come on, this is as big as it gets in terms of patriotism, right? July 4th. Happy Pride Month, something that separates us, doesn't unite us. He is the antithesis of a president. Be right back with the rest of this beautiful speech.
Greg Kelly. This is the Greg Kelly Show.
Isn't this a great way for President Trump to talk? Especially, I'm not saying all the time. I'm not saying at political rallies, but on a day like today, on the July 4th, where it's supposed to bring the country together, he can do it a million times better than Joe Biden. Joe Biden never even tried. All right, before I do the Rocky thing, I want to go back to the speech. Just a couple of, we're getting close to the end. And I just think it's important. This message is as applicable now as it was 4 years ago, as it will be 400 years from now, potentially. Keep going. President Trump, Mount Rushmore, July 4th, 2020.
We will proclaim the ideals of the Declaration of Independence, and we will never surrender the spirit and the courage and the cause of July 4th. 1776. Upon this ground, we will stand firm and unwavering. In the face of lies meant to divide us, demoralize us, and diminish us, we will show that the story of America unites us, inspires us, includes us all, and makes everyone free. We must demand that our children are taught once again to see America, as did Reverend Martin Luther King when he said that the founders had signed a promissory note to every future generation. Dr. King saw that the mission of justice required us to fully embrace our founding ideals. Those ideals are so important to us. The founding ideals. He called on his fellow citizens not to rip down their heritage, but to live up to their heritage. Above all, our children from every community must be taught that to be American is to inherit the spirit of the most adventurous and confident people ever to walk the face of the earth. Americans are the people who pursued our manifest destiny across the ocean, into the uncharted wilderness, over the tallest mountains, and then into the skies, and even into the stars. We are the country of Andrew Jackson, Ulysses S. Grant, and Frederick Douglass. We are the land of Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody. We are the nation that gave rise to the Wright brothers, the Tuskegee Airmen, Harriet Tubman, Clara Barton, Jesse Owens, George Patton, General George Patton, the great Louis Armstrong, Alan Shepard, Elvis Presley, and Muhammad Ali. And only America could have produced them all. No other place. We are the culture that put up the Hoover Dam, laid down the highways, and sculpted the skyline of Manhattan. We are the people who dreamed a spectacular dream. It was called Las Vegas in the Nevada desert. Who built up Miami from the Florida marsh, and who carved our heroes into the face of Mount Rushmore.
Is he cooking or what? And let's face, I love the inadvertent diversity. You don't have to try to be diverse to be like totally equal. It's so cool.
You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
Ooh, I haven't read the article yet, but The Economist is a very prestigious magazine out of the UK. They got a big headline here, Why Biden Must Withdraw. All right, that's fine. Lots of people are saying that. But you know what it has a picture of for the headline picture of a walker with a presidential seal on affixed to the front of the walker. Like Walker 1, Air Force 1, Marine 1, Walker 1. Oh, man. He's being humiliated out of it. It just can't go on. I don't care what the hell happens tomorrow night. There's going to be an ABC News recovery, rehabilitation spectacular headed by fake news giant and corrupt politician George Stephanopoulos. Guy never left Democrat politics, masquerades as a journalist. One of the nastiest, meanest guys around, too. Who's going to watch that during the middle of a holiday weekend? I don't know. No. Democrats want him gone. He's gone. And he should be gone. He should be gone. Yeah, I'd rather run against him. Donald Trump could clean his clock. Michelle Obama, Kamala, I think he has the advantage with them too. But you never know. It's going to change things up quite a bit. All right. So back to July 4th, 2020, if you don't mind. This is the kind of speech I want to hear more of from President Trump in the final stretch of this campaign. Go ahead.
Americans harnessed electricity, split the atom, and gave the world the telephone and the internet. We settled the Wild West, won 2 world wars, landed American astronauts on the moon. And one day, very soon, we will plant our flag on Mars.
Don't risk losing.
Yep, there's that commercial again. We're going to go ahead and skip that. Press skip ad. And then, how about that? We're going to go to Mars. We'll go to Mars under Trump. Biden, space program is languishing. All right, ready? Go ahead.
We gave the world the poetry of Walt Whitman, the stories of Mark Twain, the songs of Irving Berlin, the voice of Ella Fitzgerald, the style of Frank Sinatra, the comedy of Bob Hope, the power of the Saturn V rocket, the toughness of the Ford F-150, and the awesome might of the American aircraft carriers.
Yeah!
Americans must never lose sight of this miraculous story. We should never lose sight of it. Nobody has ever done it like we have done it. So today, under the authority vested in me as President of the United States, I am announcing the creation of a new monument to the giants of our past. I am signing an executive order to establish the National Guard of American Heroes, a vast outdoor park that will feature the statues of the greatest Americans to ever live. From this night and from this magnificent place, let us go forward united in our purpose and rededicated in our resolve. We will raise the next generation of American patriots. We will write the next thrilling chapter of the American adventure. And we will teach our children to know that they live in a land of legends, that nothing can stop them, and that no one can hold them down. They will know that in America, you can do anything, you can be anything, and together we can achieve anything. Uplifted by the titans of Mount Rushmore, we will find unity that no one expected. We will make strides that no one thought possible. This country will be everything that our citizens have hoped for so many years, and that our enemies fear, because we will never forget that the American freedom exists for American greatness, and that's what we have, American greatness. Centuries from now, our legacy will be the cities we built, the champions we forged, the good that we did, and the monuments we created to inspire us all. My fellow citizens, America's destiny is in our sights. America's heroes are embedded in our hearts. America's future is in our hands. And ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come.
And that's it. What a speech. That was beautiful. Totally beautiful. The content, the tone.
I'm not saying I don't like the tone at the rallies, and you got to work your ass off and that son of a bitch and all that stuff. You got to, all right? You can't talk like Plato, but he sounded a bit more like Plato there, right? Like a philosopher king. Something. Now, I want to see that, and I don't want to see it all the time. It's got to be special. You got to choose the occasion very, very carefully. But when President Trump does that, and I want him to say, look, I am speaking not to my MAGA base, and I love my MAGA base, but I am speaking to those who have been lied to, tricked, and fooled about what kind of man I am, what kind of president I was, and what kind of servant I will be in the future. We have to talk because the fake news has lied to you. I don't even want to call it fake news. That's too partisan. The media has lied, and I am here to tell you the truth. And I want him to talk to like, hey, are you trans? Are you trans? You have nothing to fear from me. If you are 18 and above and want to be trans, I will defend your right to be trans. Stay the hell away from our children, and we will have no problem. Something like that. I don't know. He'll get the tone right. But it probably needs more of a tone than I just suggested with that. So I want to go back to Rocky 2. This is Rocky 2. It's not considered the best of the Rocky movies, not by far. Some people think it's the worst. But it had its moments. There was Rocky 1, of course, the old-time classic. Rocky 3 is awesome. I lost total interest after Rocky 3. Where did they go? Russia or something like that? It was just crazy. Then he had a fight in outer space, Rocky 6. It was just stupid. But Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 and Rocky 3, to me, those are the classics. So you remember, Creed wants to have a fight with him, and he doesn't want to have a fight, right? Because, Adrian, my eye. Adrian is upset that he could lose his eyeball. So, but finally he realizes he's got to have that fight. And Mickey gives him a new strategy. Rocky is a southpaw. He wants him to change to right-handed in the middle of the fight. So Rocky and Mickey are sitting in a dark room watching film of the first fight with Apollo, okay? That's what's going on. You'll hear the sound projector in the background. Let's see how this works. Go ahead, please.
See how smooth he moves there? See how he pumps that jab into your eye?
Yeah.
You got guts to go back in the ring with him, kid.
Thanks a lot, Mick.
You do? Your style's too easy to figure out. I mean, left-handed fighters, they're the worst, They lead with their face mostly, trying to throw that big left. Right's no damn good. They ought to outlaw southpaws.
Why didn't you tell me this before?
I didn't want to hurt your feelings. Now look, to pull this miracle off, you gotta change everything. You gotta learn to be a right-handed fighter. Now this'll confuse Apollo, and it'll protect that bad eye.
No, I can't learn how to fight right-handed no more.
What's can't? There ain't no can'ts. There's no can'ts. Now he will beat you uglier than you are now. Now listen, you start fighting right-handed, and then you change sudden, and that'll make history. But first, you gotta get speed. Demon speed. Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
All right, so they're changing up the whole fight for the rematch. Donald Trump doesn't have to do that, but at a key moment, just like there actually, he's gonna start southpaw, and then he's gonna switch to right-handed. I love it as a strategy. I just love it. At the right time, at the right place, Donald Trump, and I know people have been telling him for years, change your tone. I'm not saying change your tone. I'm saying change it at a key moment. At a key moment, it'll freak everybody out. You'll have him eating out of your hand. Only Nixon could go to China, right? Joe Biden has been yelling and screaming since the very beginning here. The only thing he said nice about MAGA is not all MAGA people are extremists, but most MAGA people are, all right? He can't do anything. He can't bridge any gap, but you can, Mr. President. Yes, Stephen, hello.
Yes, hi, okay. Great, thank you very much. I'm here for you.
What do you mean by that? Just what?
I'm here to be on your program. Thanks a lot. Listen, on my block, Greg, in New York City, there is a recreational vehicle.
Like an RV?
Yeah, RV. Maybe 15. So inside there are living refugees, okay? Now, I want to know, Is this going to multiply into the hundreds, into the thousands? Are our city streets now going to be festooned with RVs in the near future, say in the next half year? I can foresee this happening, and I just want to know what you think about that.
Well, I think it's very terrible, Stephen, but you got a voice for radio. There's something about the way you talk. Look, it sounds terrible. Have you knocked on the window to see what the hell's going on in there? How do you know they're refugees?
There you go. That's a great question, and I'll get back to you on that. But
hey, by the way, I don't know if you should. Maybe you knock on the door. Maybe MS-13 comes out with machetes. I don't know if you should do that.
Well, I'll tell you why I know. Because at the base of the corner of 3rd and 98th, I live on 98th. On the corner of 3rd and 98th is a building which has been given to immigration people and refugees, and there's like 200, 300 refugees there.
Yeah.
And these are people these are not people that are local barrio neighborhood people. These are people that are also refugees. And I'm saying this can be occurring in the city by hundreds, thousands.
Well, it already is. Dude, it already is. I mean, it is. I mean, it's not just your neighborhood.
RVs, because it's like really a great way to live in the city, and the city should take interest because they're living on city property, but they're not paying taxes, right? So, but is the city
Is he
going to
getting
allow
parking
this?
tickets? Is he getting parking tickets?
I don't think they've been there long enough yet to get a parking ticket.
I get a parking ticket after 15 minutes in the wrong zone.
I know.
All right. Well, look, I don't know what to tell you. It sounds terrible. It sounds like there's more of this to come. I mean, you're not the only one. I haven't heard of the RV angle. Look, instead of just calling the radio station, I'm glad you called because you put this on my radar, 98th and 3rd. I may check it out. It's not too far away. I think you should document this stuff with your camera. Be discreet because I don't want you getting hacked to death. And I think you should write a letter to, or actually go to the precinct. And I think you should write a letter to City Hall and Human Services. If you got the time, what do you do for a living?
Thank you for asking that question. I'm an artist, a singer-songwriter, and I've had moderate success in my career as far as my music goes. I've even made it onto Apple Records. So, but that really is neither here nor there. And I don't want to get into, because me is my favorite topic. So, but I want to bring to your attention this. I'm a guy that called maybe a year and a half ago to alert you to the murders in Chicago with a conspiracy theory that it's not the murders really. It's what I think can be occurring, an underground body parts system. You murder 6 people, you get 6 kidneys.
Oh, yeah. Look, I don't think that's, I hear you. I saw the movie Coma. Ever see the movie Coma with Michael Douglas? It's actually a great movie. You should rent it tonight. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Coma, the same premise. Very, very compelling movie. They're putting bodies to sleep and they're selling organs all over town and making a lot of money. I won't tell you how it ends, but it's very, very interesting. I don't think that's happening. But you know what? I can't rule anything out. Dude, you got your finger on the pulse. Keep it up. Keep me informed. Write letters. Document everything, but be safe. Thank you, Steve, and good luck. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly. You're listening to The Greg Kelly Show.
Ooh, this is another item. You know how we believe that Joe Biden hasn't been in charge in a long time, right? Really hasn't been, never been. An empty suit. Everybody knows that. Obama knew that in 2008 when he chose him. There's a fascinating moment. It's when Kamala Harris gets the vice presidential nomination in 2020. She's selected to be Joe's running mate, right? And they make this very odd video with Barack Obama and her. They're on a Zoom call. And Obama, by the way, they're both sitting down, split screen. Obama is slouching. Like he's like lying down in the chair. You can only see the top of his head. She's sitting up straight. He's lounging. And she wants to know about Joe Biden. Now, keep in mind, this guy worked with him for 8 years, right? 8 years. My partner, the best decision I ever made, all that crap. It's not true. And Obama really, given an opportunity to say something substantive and nice about Joe, he doesn't. Listen to this. Cut 32, please. Cut 32.
So tell me about Joe and your relationship with Joe, and what do I need to know? Like, what's the thing about the ice cream? He loves ice cream. Tell me about that.
Well, listen, ice cream is big. Pasta with red sauce, he can go deep on that. He really does like those aviator glasses. He knows he looks good in them. But look, the main thing to know about Joe is that Joe has never lost his sense of why we do this. And we do it because of, for him, memories of his family back in Scranton, and then the people at Delaware that he represented, the folks on the Amtrak train he met each and every day. He's constantly aware that that is why we do this, and that everything that comes up, his focus is going to be how's that going to help those people who sent him there. Now, what that means is that if you have a joint event, he may be taking a little longer than what appears on the schedule. Because he will be talking.
He's a blabbermouth. All right, stop. Person. Now, wait a second. Tell me about Joe. This is at the convention. They show this video at the convention. He likes ice cream, and he likes spaghetti and meatballs, right? And he's a vain guy who wears sunglasses, and he thinks he looks good. Now, when it gets all serious, what does he say? Joe never lost the sense of why we do this. Do what, by the way? Do what exactly? Do what? Is it various vanity projects? Do what? You help people? Do this. Never lost a sense of why we do this. And he mentions two groups of people. His family, okay? His family. And what's that? Hunter and Jill? Yeah, I'm sure he never lost sense of those people. His respect. Everybody thinks of their family, although they don't try to hook them up illegally. And the people he met on that dumb train, Amtrak. I remember hearing about Joe on Amtrak, and like that's supposed to be a middle-class thing. No, it's not. It's a businessman thing. Regular people don't commute on Amtrak. That is a special city-to-city on vacation type thing. As a kid, we went to Montreal once on the train. It was a great big treat. When I heard he was commuting, you know what it costs to commute by rail between D.C. and Wilmington? It's like $2,000 a month. Regular people don't do that. Even the story about him being a lunch pail Joe is all fake. And Barack Obama, wow, could not come up with one decent, substantive thing to say about the man he chose to be a heartbeat away from the presidency. Wow, a heartbeat away. Remember Hillary Clinton and that 3 a.m. phone call? Who's going to be ready for the 3 a.m. phone call? It's not Joe. Obviously. My question is, does he resign? I know he's pulling out of the campaign. Does he have to resign? I sure as hell hope so. And yes, believe it or not, Kamala, for all her goofiness, would actually be slightly better than Joe.
This is Greg Kelly for Priority Gold. What does it mean to be America's precious metals dealer? It means that you're in touch with the hearts and minds of those who love this country, value our freedom, and want to protect the future. Priority Gold is that precious metals dealer. They've helped thousands of Americans back their retirement with solid gold and silver. Call Priority Gold at 888-506-6439. Receive free shipping, free storage, a free investment guide, and one of the best purchase experiences in the industry. Call now or go to PriorityGold.com.